Well, hello, DCO Nation, and welcome back to another DCO Live. It is Thursday night, and I see Steve. Steve, you are always the first one to jump on here. I appreciate you, buddy. Small Craft Angler, Brian is on. Heath, my man, hope you are doing well. Tony is on, and I think we got a couple more jumping on here. Gunner's on. Gunner, I think I need to say congratulations. I think you're getting married. So congratulations, buddy.
Congrats.
Yeah. So guys, some of you may recognize the gentleman on the screen. Yeah, right there. Yeah, exactly. The old, you did Vogue. Oh my gosh, man. Okay. The night is not starting out well for me right now. So I've already got the mind going. Jay's got me already chasing. So, all right, we need to get on track here, and because the last
funny, man, I gotta calm it down. I'm too funny.
Yeah. All right, so guys, this is Jay Mobs, and he, I guess, was the owner of Jelley Baits, and Jay, Jay was the one that really was, I guess, first pro staff for you. You reached out several years ago, and that was a ton of fun with you, man. But anyway, how the hell are you doing,
buddy? I couldn't be any better right now. I feel like just about at least $10. I'm feeling great. Feeling really good right now. Life is good. Get to travel for a living. Get to fish for a living.
Yeah,
no complaints on my end.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's one of the things we're definitely going to talk about tonight. But first, I want to just jump into Jelley Baits real quick, and just for a little bit of a background. So tell us how that got started and kind of what that was.
So I ended up, I worked, pretty much worked my hands my whole life. I've done a lot of construction type of work. My job before Jelley Baits was renovating housing, building houses, that kind of stuff. And I had a bad accident and shattered my wrist and couldn't do that anymore. And it's like I'd have to learn something brand new. I didn't know what to do at all. It was such a weird point in my life, something I've never been through. And then, luckily, I had a partner that wanted to support me getting, to do something I loved and I could find joy in again. And so, I loved fishing. I've loved fishing for years and years and years. And I decided that, I think I started prior to Jelley Baits, I wanted to try to carve wooden baits and sell those. But that I felt like would be so time consuming just learning, because I had no idea what I was doing, totally green. So selling those right off the bat would have been probably a little harder. So I ended up doing a little more looking around, watching bait makers on YouTube, and kind of started getting into the soft plastic part of the aspect. And from there, I was like, I can do this. I know like the color wheel, basic color wheel kind of stuff. And I decided that I would try that. It didn't cost a bunch to get into, start it, just kind of give it a test run, see if I liked it. And I ended up really liking it and rolling with it. I started, really pumping out a lot of baits. After I got a few, main colors down, I started fishing with, and that were actually working, that were catching fish. I think that's about that time is when I got a hold of you, Chris, and offered to, hey, can you test my product? See, tell me what you think, give me your honest review, and we can go from there. And that, we built that relationship, and had a great time doing it the whole way till the end. So.
Yep. And I remember, when you reached out to me, and, it was pretty shocking. One, that somebody was actually watching my videos and then wanted me to, fish with some baits. And I tell you what, I want to say one of the first times I went out, I think I caught like a 20-inch flounder or something like that. I can go back because I've got it on video, and I released that video. And I think on a lot of the descriptions that I was using, it was Jelley Baits color not named yet. It was that kind of it was that new. But
Yeah, yeah.
I still have these that I still fish with, and so this is the Dead Town Destroyer. That's one that we did a collaboration on, and
That was the color we were
love
rating
that
on.
color. Love
Yeah.
that color.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest things about Jelley Baits was being able to work with people to create new colors, stuff that they normally fished with. Like with you, for an example, we went through probably 10 variations of it before both of us were happy with it. And it was normally just, all right, more flake or glitter, the sparkly stuff inside of the baits, like this and that. And maybe the belly's just a little too white. Let's darken it up. So we made it a little more gray, kind of gave it a pearlish, kind of swirl to it, and color shifting a little bit. And I think when we were done and you started fishing with it, it was just ripping lips out of the water left and right, man. And I remember, I probably got 3 or 4 texts from you back to back, like, this is amazing, I love this, like, I can't wait, like, this is gonna do great, we're gonna catch so many fish with this. Yeah, it was super sick, dude. It was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. Heath just popped up there. I used the Magnificent Shrimp today. Yeah,
my boy Heath. All right, still promoting. I got it.
Yeah,
maybe I'll fire it back up one day, who knows.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's jump. So you decided to stop doing Jelley Baits, and what did you decide to do?
So we Kelly and I love, we just love being outdoors. We love camping, and going, everywhere and anywhere we can, staying in parks and national forests and stuff. And we came up with the idea of getting a camper. And we wanted to, so we could go and stay a week somewhere and be, comfortable and still feel like, we have a home. Kelly does a lot of online meetings, and it'd be kind of, it's not as professional doing it inside of a truck or a car. So, we wanted kind of a home base to be able to, for her to be able to operate out of as well, as be comfortable and the dogs be comfortable and stuff like that. So we were just going to be we were going to purchase a pop-up camper, and decided against that because we were, it's like we're renting in North Myrtle Beach. We didn't want to rent anymore. And so we just decided, after buying the camper that we have now, to just go ahead and live in it. It's like we live on the road. It's not a big deal. It's something we both love doing and traveling. With her working remote, it makes it so much easier to do. So we decided to just, the Jelley Baits part of that is I realized that I couldn't do Jelley Baits on the road. I couldn't bring all of my equipment and still keep up with demand. So eventually, it's just time to kind of call it quits on it, which was, it really was heartbreaking. It broke my heart. Kelly and I worked really hard on that. We built it from the ground up. It was our baby, and it sucks, because there was a lot of people that were using our baits and that really loved the product. You, Heath, you guys were, the reason I kept going for as long as I did. But yeah, it was just kind of time to call it quits. And so we decided to get on the road, and then it was kind of starting from square one again as to what I wanted to do, finding another career path that would suit my love for fishing and and
that you guys ended up landing in I don't want to say a new home, but where did you guys end up putting down some roots for a little while?
Oh gosh, it's just the wild, wonderful state of Montana.
Yeah.
It was kind of always, because I picked up a love for fly fishing a few years back, and it's always like, watching videos on YouTube and everything, you see Montana, you got some Colorado and stuff like that in there as well thrown into the mix. But and the videos I watched didn't even do it justice. Montana is such a beautiful, beautiful state. Especially the western part. You've got the mountains, and it's just gorgeous out there. So we decided to head out there for a few, kind of check the place out on our first 8-month loop, and we loved it. We fell in love with the place. And Kelly found she was looking around. I was kind of going through the ringer on trying to figure out career-wise what I'd like to do, and she found a school, a fly fishing guide school,
right?
Sweetwater guide school, and I signed up and I took the beginner class, and just because I thought guiding would be like next best thing to just fishing myself, and it just so happens I'm getting paid for it, which is even better, So yeah, that kind of got me into guiding. How
long was the school?
It was a week long. So they have 2 different schools. They have their beginners class and their advanced class, both a week long. The beginners class is out on the Bighorn River, which is a really, really wonderful, wonderful river. You got to be just trying your hardest not to be able to pull at least one fish out of there on a float. So it's a great river, well maintained, well taken care of, and the school is just absolutely wonderful. I met so many great people out there, people that I call friends. A few of them watching now, which is really freaking sweet. Yeah, there you go. That's Matt. Hell yeah, Sweetwater.
So
my guy. Okay. He's a great dude.
So with any school, what was the hardest part?
Oh gosh, the hardest part. I don't know that.
Of course, if you're doing something you love, it may not be a hardest part.
The guys will probably laugh at this, but the casting instructor, being out there for 4 hours in the beating sun, that was trying to follow this dude. Leaving. Yeah. Okay, buddy.
Oh, you trying to read the comments? Yeah.
Yeah. That was, it was just this old school dude that was teaching us how to cast. And it was a lot of just standing up for 4 hours straight in the beating sun, flicking a fly rod, listening to him, go through all the extreme terminology and everything. And it was pretty rough, but it wasn't so bad that I hated it.
Yeah.
It was all right. I still got a lot out of it, and it actually improved my casting tenfold. So yeah.
I bet. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's like anything else, man. When you got a professional teaching you to do something, I don't care if it's fly fishing, the golf swing, whatever, they're going to pick it apart and give you the techniques to make sure that it's done right. So yeah, man, without a doubt, that's really cool.
I'll have to tell my dad about the golf swing thing. He tried teaching me for years. He was an instructor at my high school, the golf coach, and he probably cussed me up and down, left and right. I could never get it.
Yeah. Nobody can.
He tried. Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. Love you.
Yeah. So okay. So let's talk a little bit of fly fishing. So when you're out there, and you're picking apart some water, what are you looking at as far as fly fishing goes? I know we're all saltwater guys here, but tell us what your eye is looking at as far as a guide goes.
Well, I'm looking for the moving water. Trout, they like to hang out around structure, behind rocks, stuff like that. It could be in the faster moving parts, but normally they're going to be in like little pools. Waiting for their food to come by, because they're in there swimming all day, and they want an easy meal, especially when it gets warm. Like during the time I'll be out in Montana, they want something easy and delicious, and not wanting to move very far for it. So I'm going to normally find like these seams of the faster moving water where it kind of rubs up against the slow stuff. And it'll create like a foam or like bubbles,
Hmm.
And you really want to kind of look for stuff like that out there. On the banks, I've caught hundreds of brown trout on just off banks throwing streamers, where it kind of gets a little slower. But yeah, I mean, really, like a lot of the places I fish, you could just cast it out wherever, as long as it's not that much water running.
Right.
You'll 9 times out of 10, there's probably something swimming down there that'll eat what you got. So
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I think but I lived out in Colorado for about 5 years, and
yeah,
I lived in Colorado Springs, and I would go up and I would fly fish a small little town called Deckers.
okay,
And the stream that rolled through there was actually a gold medal trout stream. I was actually lucky enough to be within about an hour drive of a gold medal trout stream. And that's where I cut my teeth on fly fishing, was right
yeah,
there, which was really
okay,
cool. And so just like you were saying, I can remember the first trout that I caught, and it was a small little rainbow, and he was maybe 6 inches.
yeah,
And I had a little dry fly on, and I was casting upstream. I can picture it to this day. And there was a little rock, maybe about 6 or 8 feet off of the bank, and there was like a little trough of water in between the rock and there. I cast it above the rock and just let that thing just drift down, and he just
yep.
that little gurgle and popped, and he came tight, and it was awesome. So yeah, man, that's I love it. I don't do it, but man, I need to get back into it. I absolutely love it.
I don't know what it is about it. Making soft plastic baits was super humbling, super awesome. Because you come up with something right off the top of your head, and you go out and you fish with it and you catch a fish. Like, that's, besides like making the rod and the line, like you've literally done everything to catch that fish. And it's the same with like fly fishing. We're tying these flies, and about half the time my flies look really good, but they still catch fish. You're starting from scratch on everything. You don't know, you go to a brand new river, you've never fished, you've tied flies you don't know might work. You're going out there and you're really, really concentrating on every single thing, every single aspect of what your line is doing. If you do the proper mend, is the drift kind of pulling your fly? Is your dry fly a little too wet and starting to sink? There's so much stuff that you have to think about out there, in order to really have a successful day. And I think that's like, it takes my brain away from everything else and just puts it focused on, hyper focusing on doing the one thing that I truly love to do, and it's, I don't know, there's nothing like it out there. I love fishing. I love catching fish, but fly fishing is just like, it's the bee's knees. It's the, to me, cream of the crop kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It just gets me closer to it, closer to the fish, closer to nature, I feel like, and the surroundings. And
without a doubt. Without a doubt. So
it's really great.
So talk to me about rod and reel setup. What is your setups that you're using out there?
Yeah. So, really, I fish with like three different weights. It kind of correlates with conventional setups. You've got like a light, medium, heavy action kind of rod. So they, with fly fishing, it's in weight and it's numbers. So I fish with a 5 weight, which I guess would be kind of equal to maybe a medium.
Okay.
That's like the basic starter rod. Like, if you want a rod that you can do most everything with catching trout, it would be a 5 weight.
That's what I started with, and that's what I have as a 5 weight.
It's the most common used out there. Streamer fishing, I go up a little bit. I go to a 6 weight. So a little heavier line, a sinking. Normally I throw like a 10 to a 25 foot sink tip line, which it'll sink down in the water to get your streamer down there, where you want, where the fish are. But if there's a place I love fishing in, out in Emigrant, Montana, around Emigrant, called Mill Creek. And I take my little 3 weight out there. And I catch, little Yellowstone cutthroat, that big all day. And it's just so much fun because it's a really light rod, and you can really feel the head shakes, and you know, you can fight the fish on it. It's super cool. It's super cool.
So the lines you're using, do you use mostly a sinking tip? Do you ever use like a floating
So
line?
I use sink tip for my streamers. 9 times out of 10. Sometimes I'll use a floating line, you know, if it's with smaller streamers, lighter streamers, smaller creeks, I'll throw a floating line for that. I use floating line for everything else. Just the sink tip for my streamers, like the heavier duty guys, the big boys like you see back here.
And then talk to me about tippet and leader line.
Yeah, so leader is pretty simple. I mean, we just, you know, we pretty much just use like a 9-foot leader. It comes already pre-packed as a tapered leader. Normally I'm using, you know, 3 or 4X. So it's, you know, it could be any, I'm not even 100% sure on what line weight that would be off the top of my head. I don't have my stuff with me. It's like remembering the names of flies. You just can't. There's millions.
It's that one. That one catches fish.
It's a dry, or it's a nymph, or it's a But yeah, you know, tippet wise, you know, I normally just I'll run my leader, my 9-foot leader. I'll run probably a 3 or 4X tippet on it. You know, 3 feet, and then you just cut that down, so I'm not cutting into my leader as much. Streamers, I'll take a 9-foot leader and cut about 3 feet off of it, 3 to 4 feet off. And then I'll run that loop knot onto my streamer and throw that all day long. And that'd be just fine. You know, you don't need a super long leader material for streamer fishing, but so much as like, you know, if you run a drop rig or anything like that, a bobber rig, indicator rig, whatever you want to call it. Cause you want those to go down. You want your flies, like in the bighorn, you're running anywhere from a 9 to like a 12-foot leader setup, and that you got every bit of that leader down in the water.
And that's just because of the water depth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Yeah. It's just like anywhere else. You know, match the hatch. If you got a little 5-foot puddle, you run about I'd say 8 feet leader just to get it, make sure it gets down in there, because you've only got, you know, especially when you're running on you know, wading bank fishing, you know, you're fishing that one spot and you get these little tiny flies. They take time to get down to the bottom, so you know, you run a little bit longer and then get them down where the fish are.
So I know we talked about it, but what is your favorite fly to fish?
Oh yeah, streamers. I love streamer fishing. I know the guys on here will vouch for that. I caught most of my fish on streamers throughout the week of the beginner guide school, and actually the advanced class as well. But I do a lot of that. I do enjoy nymphing, using the indicator. You know, kind of just it's using bait in the bobber, kind of a thing. It's really enjoyable. But yeah, streamers the way to go, dude. I love being able to, you know, manipulate the fly in the water to mimic the fish, you know, mimic a bait pattern, a leech, a fish, you know, sculpin, whatever they're eating on around there.
Yeah. I know we talked about it. You know, I love a dry fly. Of course, you know, that's just topwater fishing, and that just goes back to freshwater and saltwater and throwing something on the top and watching them come up and grabbing it.
Dude, topwaters, yeah.
You know, that's always, you know, there's just nothing more exciting, you know, at least to me, you know, for that. But, you know, I'll catch him any way the fish wants to bite, you know,
especially if you tie the fly, you've got it. You're just watching it and just waiting. And the second that you see that rise and that mouth just engulf your little fly, like your heart starts to race, you know. It's just like topwater action when you're walking the dog, you know. It's just, you see that fish come up and just inhale your bait, and it makes you feel, it's just so euphoric. I don't know. It's something I don't know that I'll ever be able to explain.
It's just so cool to watch him come up and get it, man. So cool.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Totally.
So tell us what is on the horizon for you. I know you're in transition. Where are you guys headed, and what are you going to be doing?
Yeah. So, come the 15th, we'll be down in the Keys. We're going to be spending a few months down there for the winter before we head back into Montana. We're going to be kind of chilling out, drinking some margaritas on the beach. You'll probably find me in the water somewhere searching for tarpon or bonefish.
Oh man.
So we'll be targeting them when we're down there, and hopefully I'll get to finally catch a saltwater fish with a fly rod, and then we're heading back into Montana. We'll be in Montana from May to end of October. I think that's just going to be kind of our loop thing we do. It's going to be a great time. We're super stoked about it all. What's my girlfriend saying now?
And hang on, that's why I popped it up there. Kelly said the best thing about dry flies is you don't have to know how to set the hook to get the excitement of seeing the fish.
Oh yeah, she's great about that. She's she'll watch her fly, and we'll see the fish come up and grab it. I'm like, set, and she just like but she loves it. I love it. Just her being out there with me is probably my favorite part of doing what I do. So really great.
Yeah, I'll never forget the day that we fished and she got onto that either 16 or 17-inch flounder. And I remember a couple of casts before that, she got hung up on the oysters and she was getting frustrated. And then all of a sudden she hooks into this. It was great. Kelly, love you. It was awesome.
She's back here giggling.
Then after you guys leave the Keys, you said you're going to make your way back up to Montana sometime around May, and then you'll spend the summer up there guiding.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be there very start of May. And then I'll be getting a boat, and I'll start guiding pretty much the second they start the fly shop that I'm working with starts throwing people my way. So.
Yeah, and I don't know who Clifford.
Oh, Cliffy boy.
Yeah, I said, am I booking you?
Yeah.
It says, I am booking you. Sorry.
Yeah, Cliff, you're not booking me, buddy. You just give me a date and let me know when you're coming out there, and I'll make sure my schedule's free. He's one of he took the first class with me too. They're all great guys. A lot of them are vets. Nice. I think it's Sweetwater, and they make sure to target vets because they get it's all paid for. They don't have to worry about it, and it gets them out on the water, teaches them how to guide, gives them opportunities as well, which is super freaking awesome. And these guys I met, just some of the most stand up, just good all around dudes. Yeah. Cliff being one of them. Matt, you're kind of iffy. Let's see. Yeah, Brian, he's cool too. I think Brian, the advanced class, we spent the whole week down in the basement watching Letterkenny. It was pretty funny. Real fun show.
Hey man, that's it. We talked about how we gonna fill 30 minutes. Dude, that's it. Flew by. Absolutely.
That's already gone. Oh hell, I got another 30 in me. Let's do this. No, all the guys I met were great. The schools were great. I met a lot of really good friends. That I've built a lot of relationships, and it's, I can't wait to see all these guys again. I think we created a bond that it's kind of hard to find anymore. And that probably meant the most. If I got anything out of those two classes that I'm the most proud of, it would be all the guys that I met, being able to call them friends and brothers and be, just have lifelong fishing buddies that, aren't afraid to get out there and share the oars and pull the fish in and stuff. It's just really great. I took three guys out there. right after 3 of the guys out there right after, and we had a wonderful day out on the water, and they caught really nice fish. And those pictures are on the website as well.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check that out, it's just chasingchonks.com. It's just the first 2 letters of underneath my name up here somewhere, right there. So yeah, you can.
I don't know if you can see my cursor. I got my cursor, and you guys probably can't even see that.
I can't.
Yeah.
Where is it?
But you were talking about friendships, but there is something about the outdoors and fishing that, it's just when you make the bonds like that, they're strong, and I don't know what it is about it. I mean, you really do form friendships. I mean, between you and me and Heath, and I know Captain Bob, and everybody that I meet on the ramp, and then I may not know their names, but every weekend you see them and you give them the wave, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing? You catch it?" And it's just that camaraderie out on the water, and it's a community,
man. It's a community, and we all make sure everybody's safe out there. We all look out for one another, and because even if the clients aren't catching fish, as long as they're having a good time, that's, and I think all of us really work hard and work together to make sure that happens. So it's just a great thing, man. Fishing is the best thing. I know one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Kelly, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. All right. Second. But yeah, all jokes aside, it's gotten me out of so much mentally, and it helps me every day. Even tying flies, it's so healthy, so great. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, Jay, I really appreciate you coming on, buddy. It was great catching up with you the last couple of days. Again, really do appreciate it, and we'll definitely do it again, but we'll do it when you're up in Montana. So when you get back up there, I want to pick your brain again, and we'll talk some more fly fishing.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe make it face to face or something.
We talked about that, and like I told you, be careful what you wish for, man, because somebody be knocking on the old trailer door there, and you'd be like, "Who the hell is going on?"
Oh yeah, I'm expecting it now. Yeah. I've already got the sign made up in my head. Welcome, Chris, right on the front of the camper.
All right,
time.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna shut this down tonight, guys. I really appreciate everybody stopping by. And again, Jay, thanks so much. And
thank you.
Guys, we will end it like we always do. Conservation starts with you. Release a fish for someone else to enjoy. And we will see you guys next week. Guys, have a great weekend.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Jay, stick around. I'm going to talk to you here for a minute.
Cool.